Hi, so my name's Dr. Chris Ennis and I'm a Principal Lecturer here at the School of Health and Life Sciences at Teesside University. Human biology is one of our biological sciences undergraduate degree courses, and the good thing about human biology is if you want to study biology but focus on the health and medical aspects of human biology, then this is really the course for you. So I want to talk to you in this video about our biological sciences courses, and there are three courses in that cluster. We have biology, human biology and biomedical science. Now it's interesting to recognise the differences between those three courses. Everybody knows what biology is. That's really the study of life, and that's an enormous field of study. And of course, a student who comes to us to study a biology degree will study across the piece. They'll study something about mammalian biology, and they'll also study about ecology, conservation, microbiology, and they'll study about genetics, of course, the fundamental underpinning science of biology. In contrast, the human biology student will study a degree course that focuses rather more on the anatomy and the biological and biochemical pathways and interactions within the human body, and also will study about the pathology of the human body, as well as health, nutrition and aging. And in contrast to both of those courses, the biomedical scientist will study a course which will fit them rather more for working directly in a laboratory, in a hospital, supporting clinicians in understanding disease and in promoting recovery and health within individuals who find themselves in need of medical care. So the biomedical scientist is really training to become a scientist who works in a hospital in support of clinicians, whereas the human biologist will study biology focusing on the human animal, and the biologist will study across the range of the biological sciences, including plants and microbes and evolution and all of those other wider subjects. So we have great facilities here at Teesside to support your learning, and all of our modules on our undergraduate courses in the science department have a dedicated practical series of classes associated with the theory that you're learning in your lectures. So in each year you'll study several modules, and each of those modules will have a dedicated laboratory session to help to really cement the theory that you're learning and for you to see in practice what the principles of biology are as they operate in the lab and in the clinical environment. That practical activity is supported by our very rich undergraduate teaching laboratory facilities. We have well-equipped laboratories for the study of biological organisms, microorganisms, for the study of cells and tissues by microscopy, and for the study of DNA and genetics. We have a range of active research scientists and their research groups that plug into the teaching at Teesside and support you in your learning, particularly, but not exclusively, particularly when it comes to your final year research project, which is a project that all of our undergraduate students do. The majority of those projects are laboratory based, and many students will find themselves going through that experience in a real working research laboratory setting, working alongside research scientists on real active live research projects in the biological sciences. All of our biological science cluster of courses equip you very well for a career in biology. And of course, each of the three courses will focus a little bit on particular career aims and career outcomes, but the courses, all of them, will really equip you with the skills that you need for a career in the biological sciences. In particular, biology, our biology graduates have this wide field of potential employment, ranging across from the health sciences all the way through to conservation and the management of natural ecosystems. It's a very, very wide range of possible technical career paths for the biology graduate. The human biologist will naturally focus more on the health sciences aspect of the career ladder, and they will likely be working in nutrition or in support of medics, or in research around the development of cures for diseases, or ways to ameliorate the effects of aging, or the understanding of embryology and the developmental processes of the human animal and how that can impact our understanding of disease. The biomedical scientist, of course, is really being trained to work in a biomedical laboratory in support of clinicians and in support of the medical services. But as with the other two degrees, the biomedical scientist will be very, very well trained in science and in scientific research. So all three of those degrees also open up the career path of research scientist. And it's not just the technical careers which a good quality science degree offers for you, because our graduates will find themselves to be well trained in terms of their literacy and their numeracy. Biologists are excellent at communicating complicated concepts to people who don't perhaps have the same level of technical understanding, and in being able to interpret information from a range of sources, particularly numerical data sources, and to be able to display and explain that information in ways that help others to understand. And so biological scientists will find themselves frequently in careers such as education, or in policy making and in support of local and national government, and also in consultancy, and those sorts of careers that interact with the wider public, helping the public to understand the intricacies and the importance of the technical fields within biology and how that impacts everyday life for everyday people. All of our degrees, of course, involve a degree of assessment. What we do at university is we like to think that we're training scientists for the future, but in order for us to demonstrate to ourselves and to our students and to their future employers that training has happened, we do unfortunately need to assess our students. Now at Teesside we pride ourselves on the diversity of our assessments, and particularly within the sciences. So you will find yourself here undergoing a range of different assessment types. Of course there'll be examinations, timed closed book examinations, because they're a very good way of us assessing and demonstrating to others that you have the knowledge and the skills that you need. But we keep our timed closed book examination assessment to a very minimum, and we supplement that assessment with a range of other assessment types which allow us not just to engage in assessment of your learning, but also to think about assessment for learning. So for instance, you will find yourself on our degrees perhaps developing a talk, a presentation that you'll give to an audience, and that talk, that presentation will be assessed. But in developing that assessment, you'll also be developing your skills in understanding information, in presenting information, and in performing at a professional level in terms of this oral delivery of high-level information. You'll also be assessed by practical examinations in one form or another. That might be actually doing something in the laboratory, or it might be, for instance, giving a poster presentation. So perhaps you've done a mini research project, or you've done a field study of perhaps some ecology on some sand dunes, and you'll do some analysis of the ecological parameters of those dunes, and then you'll present that as a poster maybe, and that poster presentation will be something that you'll defend in conversation with one or two examiners as they come round and talk to you and have a look at the work that you've done. So these sort of perhaps less stern examination types, where we have exam not by written examination, these allow you to develop a range of soft skills, a range of transferable and professional employability skills, alongside the demonstration of the core knowledge and technical skills that you've developed in your course. Our biology degree and our human biology degree both have the possibility of students going out on industrial placement or work placements, professional placements, in the year between their second year and their third year. Now these placements are competitive. They're where students go out to an industrial setting or to a commercial or professional setting for a year and act in a job role in that organisation. Students need to apply for those places, for those placements with the organisations concerned, and that is a competitive process. And so we can't guarantee to our students that you will, if you want to go on a placement year, that you will get one, but we support you very strongly in both in seeking a placement and also in making a positive application for your chosen placement or chosen placements. It's an absolutely, well, I suppose it's a highly valuable opportunity for students. If you find that it's an interest of yours, that you think you would benefit from a placement year, then you definitely should consider going on one. We see such a vast difference in the, I suppose, the academic maturity of students when they come back from placement. They've been out in industry, they've applied their academic skills to an industrial or professional place, and they've come back with that added value of seeing how the science works in reality and about understanding how the workplace and how the work ethic in the workplace interacts with them and their study. So our final year undergraduates who have been out on work placement tend to do a little bit better because of their experience in the workplace, and also they tend to have an advantage when it comes to seeking employment after the degree, because they've already had essentially a year-long interview with the workplace with the institution that they had their placement in, and they've got that extra experience of the workplace, which even if they don't go and work with the organisation they had their placement with, they can still take that experience and use that in the application for their career. So a placement is really valuable if you feel motivated for a placement year. The possibility exists for our biology course and for our human biology course. And don't forget, those years are funded, so the university will pay your fees, your student fees for that year. The institution where you have your placement will pay you a salary for the work that you're doing, and that's why these are competitive, because it's really like having having a mini job for that year. So everybody in the country has the opportunity to apply for the placements, but we give you a great deal of support. We have a dedicated placement officer in the school, and we give you a lot of support in terms of how to write your CV, how to write a positive application, and how to perform well in the interview and selection processes. So if you'd like to find out more about any of these courses, we would love to see you at one of our University Open Days.